It is day 2 of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's three-nation Europe tour. Prime Minister Modi is currently in Copenhagen meeting his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen. The two leaders met at Frederiksen's residence in Copenhagen. The two also took part in bilateral engagements ahead of the India-Nordic summit. And notably, this will be the Prime Minister's first visit to Denmark, but his third summit-level interaction with Frederiksen.
Standing between the Indian Ministry of Skills Development, Innovation and Mobility between the government of the Republic of India and the government of Denmark.
हमने यूक्रेन में तत्काल युद्ध विराम और समस्या के समाधान के लिए बातचीत और कूटनीति का रास्ता अपनाने की अपील की। हमने क्लाइमेट के क्षेत्र में अपने सहयोग पर भी चर्चा की। भारत ग्लासगो COP26 में लिए गए संकल्पों को पूरा करने के लिए भी प्रतिबद्ध है। हम आर्किटेक्ट क्षेत्र में सहयोग के अधिक अवसर तलाशने पर सहमत हुए हैं। एक्सेलेंसी, मुझे विश्वास है कि आपके नेतृत्व में भारत और डेनमार्क के संबंध नई ऊंचाई प्राप्त करेंगे। हम आशा करते हैं कि इंडिया EU फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट, उस पर नेगोशिएशंस यथाशीघ्र संपन्न होंगे। हमने एक फ्री, ओपन, इंक्लूसिव और रूल बेस्ड इंडो-पैसिफिक क्षेत्र को सुनिश्चित करने पर जोर दिया।
We share many values. We are two democratic nations. We both believe in a rule-based international system. And in times as these, we need to build an even stronger bridge between us. As close partners, we, of course, also discussed the war in Ukraine.
On the agenda is the second India-Nordic summit hosted by Denmark. Prime Minister Modi will also interact with other Nordic leaders, including the Prime Ministers of Iceland, Norway, Sweden and Finland. The first India-Nordic summit took place in 2018 in Stockholm. And this year's summit will focus on issues of common interest like post-pandemic economic recovery, climate change, and of course the India-Nordic cooperation in the Arctic. And from there, the Prime Minister will fly to Paris. In focus is a meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron. India and France have had a strategic partnership since 1998. And historically, they have always enjoyed close ties. The two share a robust economic partnership as well as defence cooperation. Prime Minister Modi's Europe trip highlights the growing importance of the India-Europe relationship. Engagement between Europe and India has increased, and foreign ministers from European nations have visited India, marking a strong push for growing strategic and economic cooperation. The Prime Minister's visit could set the stage for the India-EU summit, likely boosting the free trade agreement negotiations between the two. And for more on-ground insights, our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal now joins us live from Copenhagen. Siddhant, thanks for joining us. Let's start by talking about some of the highlights from Prime Minister Modi's Denmark agenda. Prime Minister Modi has pitched India as a great destination for green energy investments in particular. Tell us more about that.
Well, one of the key outcomes, in fact, the major outcome was on the Green Strategic Partnership, which was signed between the two countries way back in 2020. But today was, in fact, both sides coming together to have get more practical cooperation with each other's scale in terms of India scale and skill in terms of Denmark scale, and the announcements being made, the Denmark Prime Minister starting her statement about the Green Partnership. And in terms of what Denmark can offer India is clean technology, also when it comes to innovation. Remember, these countries, the Nordic countries, Denmark, have a major lead in terms of clean technology and clean energy, and that is why this is something that India can use, especially when it comes to meeting its Glasgow climate target. So that is why it's a win-win solution for both the countries.
Right, Siddhant, let's talk about the Ukraine war, which of course is looming large in the background of this significant visit. What can be said about the joint statement on this war? Both leaders have called for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine.
Well, it is expected the shadow of the Russian invasion of Ukraine to dominate the entire visit of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the three European countries. We saw what happened in Berlin, and it is similar to what happened in Berlin today in Copenhagen. The Denmark Prime Minister strongly condemning what has been happening, something which is on expected line, but also the Indian Prime Minister reiterating the call for the cessation of violence. Remember yesterday, while standing next to the German Chancellor in Berlin, he said that nobody is victorious when it comes to war. So there is a message indeed from New Delhi. In fact, what is significant is the Denmark Prime Minister pointing that India can influence, India can use its influence, especially when it comes to Russia, to make sure that things can be sorted out. Remember, India and Russia have close relationship, and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to the Russian President thrice, President Zelensky twice, and called for direct talks between the two leaders. But so far, nothing much has happened, and violence continues. In fact, the Denmark Prime Minister mentioned about the Busha massacre, something that India in the past has been condemning.
Right, Siddhant, thanks so much for all those updates. We'll come back to you for more. Thanks for joining us on WION at this hour. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.